Hey, what's up, y'all? This is TC, and thanks for tuning in again to TC Time. All right, what we're doing this week is we are going to convert a propane tank into a portable air tank. That's what we're doing this week. If you do this, you can either use it as a portable air tank or an inline booster tank for your air compressor. So even when you're not needing to air up your tire in front of your house where your air compressor's not in, you can just plug this thing in and increase the capacity of your air compressor to get more runtime out of your tools or your King's power washer gun. So we're going to lead up to more videos on this, but for right now, let's say you have a small air compressor like a 30-gallon like mine, and you just need a little more runtime to get your car washed all the way. Well, the least expensive booster tank you can go buy a booster tank for, 30, 40 bucks at Harbor Freight or wherever. But you can go down to the place that refills the propane tanks, and you can buy these out of service tanks for 15 bucks. These are rated at 235 pounds. Usually the reason they're taken out of service is just because they've gotten too old. There's nothing wrong with them. They've never had any moisture in them. $15 tank is like a 5-gallon tank. And, if one tank's not enough, you can add as many tanks as you want. All right, so the first step is you're going to remove this brass valve. This is the valve that the tank came with. And one really cool thing about these little propane tanks is they have international pipe threads, 3/4 inch international pipe threads right here on this fitting. So they're pretty easy to convert. So once you get that off, you're just going to throw that away. All right, the next thing that you need to do is, this is a hint on the next video. We're not going to talk about this yet, but you need to get yourself a T-fitting and a 3/4 inch double nipple and a 3/4 inch to 1/4 inch hex bushing, along with a 1/4 inch nipple, a ball valve, and a 1/4 inch disc quick connect right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and screw this down into the hole. And you can choose to do this to seal your pipe threads however you want. You can use Teflon tape or pipe dope, or I've got a really good video on my playlist on how to seal pipe threads permanently. And the downspout isn't really necessary if you're just going to be using this as a booster tank or a portable air tank. This is for the next project. We're going to make this a siphoning tank where you can disperse chemicals. Anything you want out of it. So if you don't want to follow along and make yours into a siphoning tank, you don't have to do the inner pipe. We're not going to talk about that on this one really too much. All right, so the next thing you need to do is screw in 3/4 inch double nipple to the front of your fitting. After that, what we're going to do is we are going to screw on a 3/4 inch to 1/4 inch reducer. Now, what we have here is we have 2 1/4 inch ball valves, and these are some valves I just found on sale. You can use the regular ones if you want, but I like these because they have male threads on one side and female threads on the other, so you can save yourself a step. I'm going with a 4-way 1/4 inch fitting, and the reason why I chose a 4-way is because you may want to add like an air gauge right here on it if you want, or if you're using one of those silent compressors that doesn't have a shut-off switch, you may want to put a safety pop-out valve right there. Anyways, we just have a 1/4 inch double nipple to a 4-way, 2 ball valves. We're going to have one quick connect here, and then we're going to the male in and then the female in on the quick connect on this side. I went ahead and screwed all that together, so just for time's sake. So you have an in and an out. If you'll notice, I haven't used a pressure gauge or a pop-out valve because the main purpose of what I'm wanting to use this for is an inline booster tank, so I get more runtime out of my air compressor for my King's power washer gun. You just, go from your air line, it goes right out of your air compressor, plug it in right into here. Once you get it plugged in, then you can open up the valve to turn it on and run your other line out of here to whatever tool that you're using. So the pressure is going to equalize. You don't need any kind of gauge or anything like that. Your air compressor that you own has a gauge on it. It has a pop-out valve. It's got all the safety stuff on it. The air pressure is going to want to equalize in the tank and this. So they're going to equalize it first, and then the pump's going to kick on your air compressor, and it's going to bump it up to where both tanks have 150, 175 psi. Just depends on what your air compressor is rated for. And then you just have an extra reserve of air. Now, in the next video, we're going to talk all about why we put this fitting on right here. It's going to be something that if you own a detail shop, or you own a car lot, or you own any kind of business to where you're going to make a living spraying chemicals or a power washer, you're going to want to watch this next video. All right, well, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope to see you next week. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. And the notification button will let you know whenever I post my next upload. Thanks for tuning in to TC Time.